My horrible parents booked a vacation for the whole family but excluded my wife. But we found out why my wife is always singled out and it made our jaws drop. My family has always been well off. And by that, I mean like we would take family vacations 2 to 3 times per year. It's still like that now, but I've noticed a difference in how my family acts now that my wife and I are married. About 3 weeks ago, my dad booked a trip to Italy. Everyone was excited. The family group chat was lit up for days following the announcement. I called my dad and talked to him for a while, and eventually I thanked him for including my wife who'd always felt left out. There was a slight pause and he told me that he booked the rest of the available seats on that particular flight, and there was only enough for him, my mother, grandparents, my sister, plus her husband, and me. He booked it without even considering my wife. Now I know that a lot of people would think that it was just a mistake, but I don't think so, given the fact that my wife has been excluded in other ways before, and if it were a mistake, he'd do everything he could to change it before even announcing the vacation. My heart sank. I looked at my wife who could tell something was off, and I told my dad to just give my seat to someone else because if she wasn't included, I wasn't going. In the past, I was able to include my wife myself, but I was tired of us being singled out. They never did that to my sister and her husband. They've always included them as a couple. But when it comes to my wife and I, we've always had to figure our own way into the mix as if we weren't to be taken seriously. I'm not doing that now, and I drew the hard line in the sand this time. This man had the audacity to say that she and I could book our own flight and just, meet them there. I simply said, absolutely not, then hung up. Needless to say, my wife was in tears. She was upset, but she was glad that I was sticking by her. A couple of days went by, and we decided to go on our own vacation to a much humbler location, large rental cabin, with her family, who are all downright amazing. Well, my family found out, and they have not stopped blowing up my phone. My mom called me one night during all this and said that I was being unreasonable, and that there was no way I couldn't just book a separate flight and instead book an entirely different vacation with her family. I explained to her that that wasn't the point. That the point was that they had excluded my wife from every family-related event ever since we got married, which always put me in the position to fix it. My mom basically called me crazy, and that I was overthinking a simple mistake on my dad's part. For some reason, I'm starting to think that maybe I am overthinking it, and that I should just talk with my dad to see if excluding my wife was intentional, which was another point my mom brought up. Am I the a-hole? Update. We had a family meeting at our house on Monday, and it was interesting. I started with reminding my dad what he did, how it matched up to all the other times, how it made her and I feel, and how his and my mom's reactions made us feel. I told him that my wife is my everything, and what we do together. Our marriage is just as valid. You either want us in your life or you don't, and lately your actions have told us the latter. Then, I brought up gaslighting. We did some digging the previous night, watched videos and read articles to better understand it. I explained to them what it was, how they did it, and how it made us feel. My conclusion was my reasoning for planning the separate vacation with my wife's family. My sister started crying. She apologized for not saying anything and not paying attention. Her husband was upset as well. My sister said, "You have to book a different flight, Dad," to which I pointed out that it was too late. Our vacation was already booked and we couldn't bail on it. My sister said, "Well then we're not going to Italy then. You two, Mom and Dad, can go, but we're not. I feel horrible now." Cue argument between parents and my sister. My wife and I sat there with our mouths hung open until my sister plus her husband got up and left. My suspicions were right. The reason why my wife and I were being treated unfairly was because of inheritance fears. Their explanation was that they didn't want inheritance getting into the wrong hands, so they wanted to dote on my sister plus her husband to ensure that it won't. That right there confirmed everything, because they basically said, "Yes, we treat your sister plus her husband better, and we're driving it home with the inheritance." It ended with my parents leaving angry, not at their actions, but the fact that they were getting called out. From this point on, we will be going low contact with my parents and maybe try to amend things between my sister plus her husband. We will not attend gatherings, events if both of us feel excluded. We will demand that we be treated just as seriously. We now know our boundaries and we will set them. It was a very heartbreaking experience and we were disgusted at the whole thing. We still are. Right now,